Let's talk Ghostbusters.
Who you gonna call?
You may have heard of this little comedy from 1984 starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson as a team of ghost-busting New Yorkers. Directed by Ivan Reitman, Ghostbusters is one of the most popular comedies of the 80s, and it's easy to see why. Its core concept, that is taking the idea of firefighters and giving them the threat of ghosts to deal with instead, is nothing short of genius. Whenever the theme song is playing and you see the iconic hearse driving around with that cool siren as the team takes out ghost after ghost, it just makes you instantly happy. The cast is, of course, a big factor of what makes Ghostbusters as good as it is. As Peter Venkman, Bill Murray is a lovable, sarcastic douche who is skeptical about ghosts at first, despite having studied the paranormal, but who quickly jumps on board, mostly because he realizes he might get some money and some Sigourney Weaver out of it. You first meet him as he's performing some kind of psychic experiment, and he keeps giving a guy electric shocks just to get rid of him so he can be alone with some girl.
I'll tell you what the effect is! It's pissing me off!
Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis are the true geeks of the group. The former is always excited and amazed whenever the ghosts are manifesting. Egon could not be more deadpan, but you can tell he's the real brains of the operation. He's also got a weird thing about snacks in this movie, I've noticed. Peter rewards him with a crunch bar at one point, like he's a dog, and he's always eating some kind of fast food. Ernie Hudson is hired as a Ghostbuster later on in the movie, but he fits in perfectly and very quickly. He's the realist, the cool guy who just sees this as a normal job and doesn't mind working with a bunch of nerds as long as he gets paid, has a good time, and catches a bunch of ghosts.
I have seen shit that'll turn you white.
The plot sees Sigourney Weaver encounter some kind of demon called Zool in her fridge, and she hires the Ghostbusters to handle it. Nothing happens here until much later when she becomes possessed by said demon and becomes the gatekeeper. Rick Moranis, who plays her geeky neighbor Louis, also becomes possessed by a dog and becomes the Keymaster. No prizes for guessing what happens when the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper get together. Between this guy releasing all the ghosts in the city because Venkman was a douche to him once, an ancient demon Gozer turning New York City into a gateway to another dimension, the Ghostbusters sure have their work cut out here, and the finale is simply epic. You've got the skies opening up, the ground literally breaking apart, and you've got they take Stay Puft out surprisingly quickly actually, but I like Peter Venkman's original plan.
We've been going about this all wrong. This Mr. Stay Puft is okay. He's a sailor. He's in New York. We get this guy laid, we won't have any trouble.
Stay Puft getting laid, now that would have made for an interesting scene. Needless to say, the film still holds up really well. It's such a charming, funny, iconic film that, of course, it holds a special place in many people's hearts. The effects here are still cool, whether it's the practical ghost effects. I mean, how adorably disgusting is Slimer?
Disgusting blob.
And how terrifying is that library ghoul? But the more cartoonish effects are also great. They're colorful and give the film a unique quality. The film is like an interesting mix of B-movie horror, New York buddy comedy, and sci-fi. It's just very creative and very clever, not to mention a lot of fun.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
It may not be as action-packed as you'd expect, but what it lacks in constant mindless ghost-busting, it makes up for in sheer charm and laughs.
Is this true? Yes, it's true.